Welcome to the Dawn Patrol. I'm Bob Hoey. Tom Bomil's the host every other week, sitting next to me from Drake. And John McDonough's behind the camera that gives a lot of his time for all of us in the city of Lowell. Ned Tarmey's not here today. Ned, if you're on there or listening to us today, good morning, buddy. Hope everything's going well for you. Give us a call the first chance you have. I didn't know how I was going to start the show today, but because I'm stuck in election gear already, I'm trying to get Dan Finn elected. I'm trying to get, of course, Eric Gitcher elected, and I'm going to try to get myself elected.
That's the most important one, boy.
Oh, yeah. Well, I have strange ways when it comes to running for the school committee, and
Right.
it is nothing in my heart.
Well, it's worked 5 times or 6 times for you, right? How many times?
Well, 4 times.
Right,
4 times.
4 times.
Yeah,
So.
it worked 4 times.
Yeah.
But there's nothing more important to me than teachers. Nothing. No other occupation. Not even nurses anymore. It's teachers. When you're from my type of life, a divorce, you lose your father, you lose your mother, and you live with your grandmother and all these other things, okay? It's not easy. And teachers, that's who I'm fighting for. There'll be no one running on this school committee that supports teachers more than I do. I'll start by saying that, because there's nothing more important, and all I hear is they blame the teachers, blame the teachers. Are you kidding me? It's not the teachers' fault.
Right, right.
How about looking at some parents? Everybody's afraid to say that. Can't say it's the parents. Well,
Oh, geez.
let me tell you something. I wasn't the best of parent. I'm a better grandfather, and I don't have children in the school anymore, but I do have 2 grandchildren and several nieces and nephews in the school system. So it's important to have kids, but it's not mandatory. K-Stock LASA, I was on a school committee with her, never had children. She was the best. She was the best for kids. She never had children. Connie Martin, I don't believe Connie ever had kids, and Connie's done some great things for children, believe me.
Virginia Faircani. No, there's a lot of,
so many of them,
Yeah.
but there's nothing more important. And, I'm trying to chase down Hillary Clark. I told you and John that, to see if we could get her to come out and run in District 4.
Yep.
And I did run into her at my favorite place to spend money, Market Basket. And that's true, too. But I begged her. I says, oh, Hillary, I'm so glad I run into you. Why don't you come out and run one more time for me, please? She goes, I'm all set, Bob. Right now, I'm excited about Danielle McFadden. That's the first words out of her mouth.
Yeah.
We need some change, and Danielle, I hope, is the one that changes things. And I said, I'm on your side.
Well, did you go to Danielle's party?
No, I don't go to a lot of parties.
How about you, Tommy?
No.
Because I completely forgot about it.
Yeah.
I'm sitting at home.
I heard it was packed, but I know somebody that went.
Supposed to be someplace that, but I forget. I didn't put it into my phone.
Yeah. Mount Pleasant, somebody told me they were there, and they said
Beautiful.
It was unbelievable for a first-time candidate thing. And I knew it was going to happen. She is so well-liked. She is, I mean, she could take the summer off and still top the ticket. I'm telling you, that's how well-liked she is.
That's what I hope she doesn't take the summer off.
No, she won't.
But-
She's working. She's doing some good campaigning. She's doing a lot of social media, which is turning out real good.
One of the things I pick out on her right away is, if you look at the last election, we had no one that would run it citywide. They just wouldn't do it. And I'm telling you, if that went again, and there was no one run against Miss Martin or Miss Doherty, they would have been looking, in my opinion now, it's an opinion show, what I call the real swamp in Lowell when it comes to education. A couple of big nonprofits, this is just my opinion, they would look to appoint the school committee. Just like they did appointing our friend and someone we supported, Corey Belanger.
Yep.
They appointed. I think that's going to be an issue you're going to have to deal with a little bit, because you know who, Eric Gitcher again, goes out and tries to get us to elect the person for that position.
Yeah.
I was on that side of it, but it didn't happen. But anyways, Danielle McFadden doesn't realize that's the match that she lit. She come out and saved all school committees. And I'm glad she's out there. I'm pretty sure I'll probably work for her too as the campaign goes on. because of just of the fact that she came out and put her name on the ballot. Just like John does, and we do every week here, trying to get someone to come out in District 4. It doesn't look like it's
Yeah, it
going to
doesn't
happen.
look like John's running. It looks like John will be running right now.
And then the district I live in now, right? You got to admit, now you know this, me and you make some people laugh. They tell me when I say this to you, you're in the swamp now, Tom. I
Yeah.
was in the swamp for years,
Yeah.
and they got beat. It's almost like the Democrats. They got beat. Quiet down, relax, wait till the next election.
Sure, sure.
You know? And, but this election here, the Belvedere, the district I'm in now, is going to show the rest of the city how to vote.
Yeah.
Watch and see this race.
Yeah.
And it's going to bring, I don't know the word I'm looking for, animosity, a little bit of fighting.
Right.
Tonight? What's going on tonight?
No, I'm just talking about District 3, when you have 4 very talented people running for that seat, and more might come out, that the votes are going to be split up, friendships are going to be split up. I already had to say to Corey Belanger, I'm sorry I can't support you. It's terrible to say that, because I like the kid. You know, I'll say it to his face again, I think he's better off running citywide. Even though he lost last time he come in 4th, the city has changed.
Bobby, there's only 3 citywide seats.
I don't care, he came in 4th, and I think he could come in 3rd this time.
How many am I
This is an opinion. Oh, citywide, I don't know.
It's Rita, Kitschia, DeJesus,
Vesna Noon,
Vesna Noon.
yeah.
That's
But
4 right now.
don't forget,
Okay.
Corey come in 4th last time.
Yeah.
And Ned Tarmey said, I'll
One
never
more week.
forget it.
That's right, yeah.
He
Said
said,
it.
one more week and Corey could have won.
Well, I ran into DeJesus, Sixto DeJesus, at Cisco Maldonado's party, which was a fantastic event, very tasty event up at Mount Pleasant. Oh, I loved his food. It was good stuff. We had a great time. And I told him, I said, I think it should run district. I don't think it should run citywide, first time out. He's going to run citywide.
Well, like I said, Belvedere has changed, okay?
Is he in your district or?
He said he'd be running against Kim Scott.
Oh, okay.
But see, I believe every city council, and they get mad, but tough. I get competition. You know, like, this TV show doesn't have competition. Of course it does. It has tons of competition.
Well, if that guy you mentioned, and I know him from the Enterprise Bank.
He's a good guy.
Well, I'll say this about
Give
him.
it a
You got
shot.
me off what I was trying to say, but
Sorry.
I'll say this about him. If I had a run in district with him, if that's true, that's going to be a tough battle for Kim Scott, without a doubt. I heard the guy's running citywide.
He is.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So with that said, right, if I was Rita and Vesna Noon, I'd work. Don't sit on your thumbs and think
Vesna was at the party. I didn't see Rita.
they better work. Those two, I'm just telling you, things are changing. I like to follow it as close as I can get. Belvedere has changed. Wait till you see this election. It's going to be off the hook. You thought Karen Casella was a surprise and everything? Oh, a lot of people did. A lot of people thought. No one thought she was going to win like that except this show and us,
Yeah.
you know, as far as media goes. I'm telling you, this election in Belvedere, and I'm sorry to say it, it's going to affect a lot of people. And I just hope that we can all stay, you know, friendly and do the work. And that's what I'm already starting to do. I'm starting to work already. And I only work the streets. I'll try not to work that much on this show, but believe me, it's going to be hard to quiet me down, especially when we start talking, what do you want to do for the schools? You know, I got several things on my mind. First thing, I love doing this. First thing I would do is every tutor that comes in and tries to teach our kids how to read, you tutors that got over 32 years in the business, you deserve at least $50 an hour, not 40. I'll just say that because I could watch potholes for 75 to 100 bucks an hour. I just don't like putting a uniform on ever again.
Bobby, that's
I
a
just
perk.
listen,
It's a perk.
they're blaming teachers for everything. It's terrible.
Well, Bobby, I want school committee to insist to their superintendent, I don't care about the MCAS test. I want our kids to be taught personal finance.
Yeah, that's okay.
If nobody bothers a rich guy. Do you think anybody asked Arthur DeMoulis any problems?
You know, by you
It
saying.
ain't happening. Make our kids rich.
Well,
Teach personal finance.
you've said that more times than anything, more than parking. How's that? And it's affected me. I know I try to teach my grandchildren how
How
to
would
save.
you like 2 more zeros behind your bank account? 2 more
Yeah.
zeros.
How would you like being brought up by a guy that teaches you how to gamble every dollar you ever made? Okay?
But-
Gambling, wait a minute, just,
Yeah, yeah.
we're going to talk personal finance. No doubt about it. I look at my granddaughter, where is she now? Oh, she's in Ireland.
I
She
read
ju-
that.
Or England. She went to Italy, London on a couple
How
of
was
weeks
St. Patrick's
vacation.
Day over there?
I don't know. I can't wait to talk to her, but she learned finance. I've been sitting on the show a couple of years, and believe me, she
Look at
knows.
Rita Mercier's grandson.
Yeah, that's good
Millionaire,
stuff.
Multi-millionaire.
Nothing wrong with that. We're in good shape in this city because we have a few good people still running in local government. We're very lucky to have Danielle McFadden come out and run for the schools. Go Daniel, go Danielle, go. I'll be putting that on my Facebook every time I talk about you. And it's going to be always good. Don't worry about me. I'm fighting for number 2. There's only two picks, and I want to be number 2. That's all. I didn't mind being number 6, Tom.
Yeah, right.
You know, when you run district and you come in 6,
Yeah.
okay, Bill Topia beat you, you beat George O'Hare.
Right.
You
Right.
slid in. I just want to slide in. And hopefully they got the best issues coming up in this election. But city council, ooh, what a race that's going to be. Even citywide. Do you know there's a group that don't want to ever get you? It's been in my ears, and I can't believe that. You don't have to love the
Well,
guy.
because
but
he
why?
he asked the tough questions. Why? That's why nobody wants him.
Really,
I mean,
by the people I hear it off,
yeah.
I'm not worried about them, to be
No,
honest with you,
he's
but,
he's going to walk in.
well, that's how I feel, but
Yeah.
you can't take it that way, you know? There's no doubt about it. This is the way the people, that group that talks about him, they say to me, you don't think this city manager and this mayor want rid of him? And when you watch the city council, which you should watch tonight, this is going to be a good one. They got something special happening on there tonight. But it's, in Danny Rourke, like I told you, how many times do I have to say it? As far as the schools go, and you know that's important to me, Danny Rourke's been the best. Best mayor I've seen in a long time.
Yeah.
He come right in the door wanting Liam Skinner. Boom.
Yeah.
What's that show, a guy like me? You got a career ladder in Lowell. Don't say you don't. For
I hope
years,
so.
I fought that hire, or at least give someone an interview. John McDonough says to me, everybody from Lowell should get a final interview, without a doubt. They don't like that. It causes them some type of issue. I don't know
They
what it
can't get
is.
their friends hired. Their friends don't want to live in filthy, because me, I think, I'm going to ask everybody who works for the city when they come to the podium, what town do you live in, buddy? You live in Lowell? I don't have to tell you. I got my answer.
I want to go back to John's issue about personal finance.
Yeah, go ahead.
Now, I'm on the show every week. If there was an issue in Drake that I could address for John, and he kept hammering at it every week, I certainly would make the effort to try to work on that issue. What has your Monday morning, or is it Friday morning, guest done with the superintendent, meaning Del Rossi, regarding this issue? Has she approached the superintendent? Because she's here every week. And I'm not knocking her. I'm just saying John has an issue that and I agree with him. But kids don't know, should
I
learn
don't-
personal finance. But is she doing anything with the superintendent to get
Yes,
this
she
going?
has twice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he won't do
Twice.
it?
No, it's
Oh.
just that it's what
getting-
Eileen needs is she needs camaraderie amongst her colleagues. You know how
Okay, I know.
politics works, okay?
Yep.
How many school committee we got? 10?
No, we
No.
got
You
seven.
got 6 with the mayor, 7.
Seven.
So I got 7 people. So you need 4 votes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I'm understanding, I know enough to be dangerous. They fired Zoe Dzinku, and she was my high hopes to teach parents what to do. And they got rid of her.
Really?
I got good news. I got Eric calling in here. I'm trying to answer the doggone phone. Hey, Eric, you want to go on? Okay, hang on. I got to do
This will boost our,
What's
this.
that?
This will boost our ratings.
Yeah.
All right, now I've got to turn this up louder. Okay, good. Eric, you can hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, good. I'm gonna run across the room here and get the phone to Bobby.
You want to use this mic, John?
Okay. Hey, try these cookies.
Yeah.
Yes, they're out.
These, Amanda made them. Oh my God, freaking delicious.
They're really good, like ginger snaps.
Go ahead, boost our ratings. Go ahead.
You're on, Eric.
You there, Eric?
Do we hit mute? No, he's on speaker. Are you there, lad?
We lose him?
No, he's there. Eric? Call back.
Hi, John.
Okay, you're on, Eric.
Thank you. Good morning, Bob. Good morning, Tom.
Good morning. Good morning, Eric.
So one thing that's clear, no matter who you ask on a city school committee or not, DESE controls, the Department of Education controls the outline of education in our school systems. So even though you want to go to the superintendent or whoever else, it starts with DESE. If they allot that time, then you can teach it.
Yeah.
Okay. So they have to
As
approve
sad
it
as that
now.
sounds, they
Okay.
control it.
Okay,
Well,
all right.
well, the way this world's going right now, maybe DESE will be closed down. When they start cutting all the money that I think is going to have to be cut, hopefully they start at DESE and the Association of School
Well, what
Committees.
about lunchtime? Put a video up at lunchtime.
But go ahead, Eric.
Yeah, no, I mean, I don't disagree with some of the things. They haven't changed with time a lot. You look at the sustainability issues in the world, in the environment. If you kill off the environment, you can't live. It's as simple as that. And, currently in our city, we do it every day with our construction projects that are, not even compliant to anything. They just can free will do their thing. And I just think that DESE needs to step in and actually understand what the outcomes are you're looking for. But when you're in higher education, most likely when you gain monetary money, you're living in a richer community. You're not looking at the low-lying big cities.
Well, let me just say this about you again. I have to say this. I bought a house right behind home plate at a park called Stratham Field, which you've been there a few times. I called you up last week. I want another sign. Please bring me up a sign. You bring me up a sign, then you spend an hour with two children in the ballpark. One's a special kid that needs a lot of help, and one was a kid trying to learn baseball. You spent an hour there. I timed it just so I could remember this. I'm like, look at this guy. Where do you find the time? And no wonder your son's so good at baseball. You must have drove him crazy. But I see how much,
That's my love.
well, I see the love you have. Just, you wouldn't believe, Robert's one of my best friends and what you've done for him just by talking to him. He's telling me every day, hey, do you know he goes to my school? I goes, he runs the maintenance and everything out at your school, buddy. No, I know him. I got cut from the volleyball team. And then you gave him that little speech about, well, why don't you go try to work on the team or be some type of associate with the team. And you were amazing, buddy, and I hope people see that side of you too, man. That's all.
I hope they don't, Bob, because it's special when you can go to a park and just nobody knows what you do, and it's easy to be you and try to help people that way. You don't want people to say, oh, this is so-and-so, and that gets old. It's nice to be able to go to the parks.
Well,
And,
after you, though, I got to interrupt you. After you played with that child, Robert, he comes to my house. Will you put air in my tires? Will you do this? Everything. And it's an amazing what you did just to that one child. That's all I want to say.
Ask him what's on the agenda tonight.
What's on your agenda tonight?
well, we got one of the students coming in from Greater Lowell who is an All-American wrestler, and it's the first one we've ever had at Greater Lowell. I don't know if there are any from Lowell High.
Yeah.
And this kid is special,
I'm going to take a shot. Let me take a quick shot. I would say Ricky Freitas, a name in Lowell, might have been the person that went the furthest. Let me put it that way. But go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know the answer because high school has changed through the years, and now
Yeah.
they actually have these tournaments for all Americans. When we were children, they didn't have them. But this kid's special. 2 years ago, he applied for a job. An incoming freshman at Greater Lowell. He applied for a job, and I hired him and his brother. And quiet, unassuming, just dedicated. Good kid, and it's special to watch those type of kids move into such glory and be as humble as they are.
Ask him, when does he think the Heinz parking problem is going to get resolved?
I don't know if you can hear John, but when is the Heinz parking problem going to be resolved?
I was told that they purchased a property in McDonough's parking lot, so they have plenty of parking now.
Well, that's, Eric, I know that got approved and there's nothing we can do about it, so I'm going to go after the bank that finances them. That's my next step. But the overall rule where you don't need parking anymore in Lowell, that's something the city council is supposed to address. I know that you put it on the table and it got put off to study by the law department. The lawyer works for your city manager, and that's going to come back at the speed of government. Any movement on that?
Well, John, I'm going to tell you something that is a sad part of our community is that even prior to taking that vote, the outline for parking requirements for a project like that is 0.5 spots per apartment. So at 39, you still only had 19, which is ridiculous. And we can't change that in the MBTA communities thing because whatever your requirements were before they put that into law by the state is what you have to adhere to.
Eric, I'm going to keep plugging at this thing. It's completely wrong that you spend $300,000 to buy a freaking condo with one bedroom and you got no parking for the rest of your life. That's wrong.
And I agree with you. I don't disagree with you. But like Draken, when we talk Draken versus Lowell, Draken's parking requirements were 2 cars per unit prior to the MBTA.
Uh-oh.
We lose him?
Hit the wrong button.
It was bad.
No, he hit the...
Did you hear that, John?
Say it again.
You bubbled out there for a second.
So
Repeat that.
Draken's parking requirements prior to the MBTA vote by the state legislator and the governor were 2 spots.
2 spots.
So they can go up to 2. They can't change it to 5. They can't change it anything more than what they had prior to the MBTA communities.
Well, Eric, the way it was explained to me was Draken adopted, there were 3 options. Draken adopted the option for 2 parking spaces per unit, and Lowell adopted zippity-doo-dah parking spaces per unit.
That is not true, John. So what Draken adopted was to stay with the parking requirements that they had prior to the MBTA communities being signed by the governor, which was 2. Lowell's prior to was 0.5, which that's where the fault was. But when you look at Draken could have put nothing more than those 2 spots. They couldn't go to 3, they couldn't go to 4, because whatever your requirements were prior to the signing is the most you could require.
Eric, bottom line, I trust you, and I trust my friend Phil Tebow. So what I'll do is I will pressure Phil Tebow, who's a professional architect, and he's helped me a great deal in my professional life to build some projects. And I'll ask him to for a little bit more information.
Before you hang up, Eric, what's that person, the young man, is it Antoine, his first name?
Antoine Jackman. He has an older brother, Damien, who's a football player, basketball player. Antoine is a football player, wrestler, who I think his career record is like 98-13 as a sophomore.
Holy cow.
You know, and that means you're bringing him on TV down at the mic tonight?
We are, but don't expect much said from him.
No.
He's a very, very quiet kid who doesn't like the limelight. I'll tell you a quick story about him. There's a controversial point given to another kid from another team at the end of third period in a wrestling match, at the end of the match, and it gives the kid the win. Where the coaches from Greater Lowell get very upset with the referee, and they're asking for changes, where Antoine walks over to both of them and says, "Can you please not do that? He won, let's move on."
Well, that's
And
class.
that's the type of kid you have.
That's
He's
class.
He has a different gear.
Well,
And the coaches weren't wrong. It just, Antoine just has a different gear in him. It's different.
Let me give you a little advice. If he doesn't say much, put the heat on his coach, Cassidy. Make him say something.
I can't say enough about Tom Cassidy and the dedication. You can see him there even today. He's in that weight room with the kids, working out for the next year under a program. So, Tom Cassidy has given those kids more. He gets more with less, because most of the kids at Greater Lowell who come out to wrestle have zero experience freshman year. Unlike, when you go to Andover, you go to Chelmsford or something, those kids have been wrestling since 5 years old. He takes them as freshmen with no experience and gives them the love for the sport.
Well, I know how much you love wrestling, and I look at Timmy Fallon and Tom Cassidy. They both come out of the Lowell High program, and look at what they've brought to the Greater Lowell Technical High School. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, they love the school, and they've dedicated their lives to it. When you look at Coach Cassidy and the program he's built, it was floundering at one point, and he came in and basically has given these kids an outlet of hope and gives them a way of staying off the streets and coming to use a lot of that energy in a positive way.
Anything exciting on the agenda tonight, Eric?
There's really nothing that stands out, Tom.
Yeah.
I think you got some reports that'll come back, but nothing that really stands out. We're still trying to get our grasp on the fire hydrant issue and trying to say, look, we know the conditions. We wouldn't ask the question if I didn't know the answer.
Right,
And can we please get to fixing these things and helping out not only our fire department but our residents, make sure that we have the quality of life that they deserve.
Sure.
I could picture what your life was like with having Lee around when he puts a picture of you as the Macho Man on Facebook. It's...
When you talk about Antoine, he has Damien, the older brother, so it's kind of the same outlook between the two of them. They razz each other all day.
Great.
Well, I'll be watching you tonight. Keep up the
And
good...
you'll see somebody extremely special for our community.
Yeah, so I know I like watching the city council meeting. I think people should start to watch it. When's all your budget talks coming? Pretty soon, right?
They're coming around the corner, and that was another motion that I filed last week, was asking for all the vacant positions and, how long they've been vacant. I just found out by going on one website, I was looking through, because you do that, that we're giving out a raise of over almost 50% to a position that was not told to any of us. And when I asked that, they said they interviewed 5 times for this position and they couldn't find anybody, so they just jacked up the price.
Wow.
So why don't you make a motion, we eliminate this position?
I don't think we can eliminate it because it's a finance position, but
That takes the wind right out of his sails. Do what Rita did a few years back, take their budget away.
I don't know how this happens, and that was my question, was how do we do this? And if we did this for this position, how come we're not doing it for the other 4 that fall under the same title group? How come they didn't get the raises up? It just leads me to believe that if this position is requiring this type of bump to get a new person in, you should take care of the person who's been there 20, 25 years and give them that bump also, but that was not the case.
Well, Eric, I get a kick out of your city manager. Right around the corner, Enterprise Bank is changing hands. There's going to be a lot of excellent help that have been working for George Duncan for their entire career. They're going to be eased out the door by the new company. That's just my prediction. I know nothing but what I hear on the street.
And maybe that's the reason why this bump came in. Maybe someone's coming from there. I don't know. You might know more than I know.
I think we should, I think that Tommy Golden doesn't know how to use a calculator, and I don't have, the only guy who can change my mind is Mr. Golden himself, and that's not happening. In this business where he wants to hire another one of his friends for twice the pay, this is just government at its worst.
I think one of the major questions is, are you advertising in the right places if you're not getting people to apply, and why do you go to the same well if that's the issue? It doesn't necessarily come back to throw more money at it to get someone who's here for the money and not for the work in the community. I think that's where you'll find the best employees we have are the ones who come here for the work in the community.
Well, most of your colleagues on the city council are gonna go, my sister needs a job here, so I'm saying nothing. And that's what's gonna happen. They all want a relative hired, so they're gonna say nothing. It's terrible.
When you sit on the school committee and you talk to people about budgets, and let's say roughly, and I don't follow Lowell's school committee at all really until I get elected, I might follow it. I like following city government. I think that's who really calls all the shots. But when you look at a school budget, I think it was around 250 million roughly, and 88 cents approximately out of every dollar pays staff. I look at the school system, yeah, that's the way I look at it though, Eric, only 12 cents left over to do everything else. And better than anybody, we have a lot of maintenance issues that we need to take care of soon.
We'll do that later.
You make a lot of sense, and I think that's what gears up for the hiring process the most. You need to hire the best people for the positions that will give you a product for a long period of time. And I think that sometimes we negate that when you look at that 88%, and then that 88%, when you look at efficiency, comes down to like 33% because you're hiring another 55% that are not geared towards the efficiency that you want.
Yeah, without a doubt. So, buddy, we appreciate you calling in, that's for
Thanks
sure.
calling.
Well, thank you again, and have a great day.
Talk to you soon,
Thanks,
pal.
Eric. See you soon. Thank you.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right, bye-bye.
6:35, 6:40, and he's calling in. Unbelievable.
That was good.
Yeah.
Anybody who wants to call in is welcome to call the number. Put it back up on the screen
Yeah.
here. And thanks. That was City Councilor Eric Gitcher. And thanks for calling, enlightening us about what's going on in the city. Thanks, Tom.
And
Very
Tom,
much.
my sister Charmaine, I'm going to tell John, I'll tell John now, she's coming the 22nd of the month. It's a Tuesday.
I'll go look at Mr. Calendar.
It's a Tuesday. She's going to come in here at 7, just a half hour, 7 to 7:30, like we've done for other people. And talk about hearing aids.
So is he talking about the accountant's position? Do you know what position he was talking about? Because I know he was making hay about that in the
There was something about the auditor, but that was
auditor,
last week.
yeah, accountant, auditor, whatever,
Yeah, I don't know if that was the position.
We just hired a new finance director out in Drake. It took a while to get a new finance director. Obviously, we hired the new manager. It took a while. I think this girl came from Billerica or Chelmsford, or I forget, one of the surrounding communities. I don't know what they're paying her. So it's, but the trash fee's a hard issue in Drake, I'm hearing. There's going to be a trash fee in Drake at $400 a year. I don't know if it's going to hurt the incumbent selectmen. I don't think so, but the only thing I would say about that trash fee, and I know people will disagree with me, is that it probably should have went to a town meeting vote. And yes, it probably would have got defeated, but everybody says town meeting is the purest form of government. Well, let the voters have their say. That's, but I say,
I'm happy.
that's just my opinion. Like you
And
say, it's
Tom,
an opinion show, Bob. So. But I still think, just want to say, I think both incumbents are safe, Tony and Jennifer Kapansky. That's my opinion.
Well, I know how you bring that issue up. You're saying you'll get people down there to vote when you want to talk about a trash fee.
Yeah.
And I love my trash. I went out this week and gave a $5 tip and a bottle of water and a banana. I do it once a month.
Yeah.
And I try to get different drivers to tell, and I told him, I said, hey, buddy, I said, Drake, they don't want anything to do with the trash business. They don't want their bill to go up.
Yeah.
I says, but
But it is.
I said, I appreciate what you do.
Yeah.
And I try to separate, the trash from recycling. The guy in the truck said to me, a big part of Lowell, we don't even go for recycling no more. It's all
Yeah.
trash.
Yeah.
Big sections already of Lowell.
Yeah.
They don't even pick up recycling. It's,
Well, I don't know.
I don't know the exact areas, but they don't pick it up anymore.
What's this?
In Lowell.
Oh, Drake.
Because
Drake,
people
it's
don't recycle.
Are you every other week? Or you
Yeah,
kinda like
with
every
recycling every other week, yeah.
I don't know if John's leaving. I'll ask him when he comes back. All right. So yeah, I just think, everybody talks about town. I think town meeting should be eliminated. I don't know if you saw Phil Tebow's. You go on Facebook. Phil Tebow wrote a nice article for the Valley Dispatch about the charter committee that's coming up and talking about changing the form of government in Drake, and maybe they should. They did it back in '85. It's been good since '85, but I think more changes should be made. And one of the things I've talked about, and I think my friend John Zimmerman's talked about, is actually going from a board of selectmen to like a town council. It'd be like a city council, it'd be town council. And I even brought about maybe do district out there, because you have Drake. It's got different parts of Drake. You can have representation. I don't know, but I don't think people like change, especially some of the people who are involved in government that I don't think they want to see it. They want to keep town meeting, but I think it's a waste of time. It shows with this trash fee. I mean, and I know the manager's right. They have a right to do that, but I think you talk about town meeting, going to vote, and I just don't get it. Why it didn't go to a vote at town meeting, but I'm sure they would know differently. So.
Yeah, well.
John, I was talking about. Did you happen to read Phil Tebow's column that he put on Facebook that was put in the Valley Dispatch?
I missed it.
That's all about about the Charter Commission in Drake and changing government. I was saying to Bobby when you were out that one of the things I posted on his post was about the fact that we've had a charter change back in '85, so that's a good long time ago, and it's maybe time for a new change. And one of the changes I've always advocated is getting rid of town meeting. I know everybody loves town meeting, but I just think that I just think it's, especially with this trash fee issue, it should have gone to the voters, and it didn't. But that's the way it goes. There's nothing you can do about it.
I recognize someone, Tom Bomil from
Yes.
the Drake Health Department.
Yes.
He earns Medical Reserve Corps. Like
That's
20
right.
years
A long
ago.
time ago. How are you?
I heard you talk about it. I know that man.
Long time. Wow.
How have you been?
You gotta get out the camera.
We're doing the show right now.
Oh,
That's okay. That's fine.
Oh, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. Wow. Yeah.
You're running it now. Okay. We're going to break at 7. All right, next. Please proceed, Tom.
Okay, that's where I was. But anyways, it was all about the, you gotta get that on air sign at work, Johnny. That's the first time anybody noticed it. But yeah, Phil wrote a good article. Try to read it if you can, all about the ways town government should be changed. He even talked about they do in Chelmsford, they do representative town government, not representative town meeting rather, where you would elect your members from each community, each district, and to serve you. So it was a good article.
So it's the Deputy Director of Finance, is what Eric told us about. He sent me a couple of texts. Let me get there up on the screen. Okay, so I'll blow this up a little bit.
It's not the art of this position.
And it's a little blurry, can't read it so good, but I don't know what it looked
Yeah,
like he
I
was
can't read
getting
it.
83 grand, and they want to put the guy up to like 130, 140. And I just think that's wrong. And Golden thinks money grows on trees. It doesn't. It comes out of our pockets, Tom. That extra $30,000 you want to pay this guy, or $50,000, it comes out of Llewellyn's pockets, because you power pissed away all the federal funding, all the state funding. Stop doing this, Tom. We're Lowell's a poor community.
Well,
So what will the vote be on that tonight?
This is a-
8-1, 9-1, right? 10-1?
no.
It's the Director of Finance,
Okay, Deputy Director of Finance.
and, yeah, they want to give this guy, 130 grand, 129,000 bucks. It's too blurry to read, but I can see the figures down here from, starting at 110 going to 130. So, absolute disgrace. City manager doesn't care about your bank account at all.
Well,
But stop right there, John. I'm going to defend the manager. If the council
Go right
votes
ahead.
for it, if the council votes for it, why wouldn't you, right? It's going to be a 10-1 vote probably.
Tommy.
What do you think?
The guy has a heart and soul, okay? The guy's a lifelong Llewellyn. He knows the neighbors are poor. And he keeps digging right into their pocket. Tommy,
The
I'm not
council's
saying,
digging into their
I'm
pocket.
not saying I'm poor.
The
I'm not
council's
poor by any
digging into
stretch.
the council's digging into their pocket. They're going to approve this. They have to vote on it. Yes or no? If they say 10-1 no.
Who's the seed maker?
the
Who's the
seed-
seed maker? Who's making the seed?
the manager?
Okay, there you go. Thank you.
But who are the apostles that are approving this?
It's up to the city council to say no. It's
All
up to
right.
the city council to have the guts to say no.
well, and that's
Because-
what, you know,
Because
what-
Lowell has all this corrupted, we're hiring our friends and our relatives issue going on.
well, you
The city
sit-
council's gonna sit back. If you wanna get your sister a job, shut up.
we sit here and complain all the time, right? And the real problem is people don't vote anyways. Most
Exactly.
people don't pay attention. They don't know what's going on, and that's why I tell them, you can watch the city council meeting tonight, 6:30 on Channel 6. Watch it. And week after week, you'll learn a lot about what's going on in the city and why you need a few more votes on another side of an issue, let's say. Because Everett gets
yeah.
here, we talk about him all the time, right? He has a hard time getting 4 votes. That's why I'm telling you who I looked for in my district, someone that's not going to be led around by the nostrils, because some of them are. Let's face it. If you watch the meetings, some are just following steps of certain people. They're just following steps. And I like Danny Finn because he's not going to follow anybody. No one's going to push him around, and he comes from a tremendous family, because that's what I look for. Who's their family? What has their family ever done? And I'll tell you, you can't find many faults with the Finns. Tremendous
No,
people.
they're-
Mickey Finn might have been my favorite person of all time.
Yeah.
Nice family.
Yeah, yeah. So that's all I care
We'll see
about
what
right now.
happens. Let's
Yeah.
say, but,
Tommy, this is gonna boost it.
I don't know how many
Bobby's
watching
gonna like this.
watching the show while flying JetBlue at 30,000 feet.
Thanks for letting us know.
You
Now,
see,
I wish my friend Mark. I hope my friend Mark Crabman. You were just talking about people not voting. I don't. There was a vote, an election in Tewksbury.
Somebody said
this past-
8%.
8%. All right, that's horrible. Horrible.
you know,
I mean-
he just showed JetBlue. First thing I caught on TV, Mayor Wu, someone's giving out 40,000 Red Sox hats to the school children in Boston, 40,000 hats. And all you could see, it's a Red Sox hat, blue and red, the old ones, and on the side, JetBlue. That's all you can
Oh,
really see.
Well, they're one of their sponsors, I think, too.
Yeah.
In fact, isn't there a park in Florida named JetBlue Park?
Morning, City Life. I'll be right there.
Isn't there a park?
But I liked it because of Boston, you know.
Yeah.
Just getting into baseball, showing kids about baseball, so.
Sure.
I liked it. It was in the news this morning, you know. This is going to be one great day,
No,
Tom.
I think it's going to be a great election coming up for you guys. It's going to be exciting.
It's going to be amazing.
We're going to have a lot of we're going to have a lot of chatter to go on for the next, 15, 16 weeks or whatever. It's
Yeah.
probably not going to be a primary, right? You have to have opposition to have a primary, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
So,
like I said, we haven't seen 4 people running for citywide schools, so we're going to have change. We're going to have
Right.
change, and
Right.
that's all I care about.
right.
Change that system a little bit. And where do you start? You start with the school committee.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? No, I don't see many people coming out and challenging anybody, you know,
Sure.
other than McFadden, Danielle McFadden.
No, no.
I don't hear.
Papers come out in June.
I don't hear much about schools. Yeah, I don't know what we got going here,
Yeah.
but this ought to be a
Papers
good
come out in
time, huh?
June. Yeah. Yeah. papers come out in June, I heard. That's
Yeah.
what I read.
Yeah.
So, and you're changing your whole, your son,
Yeah.
your grandson or son helping you
No,
change your
my grandson
signs?
will do a lot of my side work, but,
What colors? You going
I don't
with?
know anything yet, Tom.
Make sure you get me a
yeah.
few.
You know why, Dan Finn had signs that I used to use, same color,
Yeah,
so.
yeah. So, oh, that's right, you said that. That's why I saw that.
Yeah.
Because I loved your colors, the green and white. You know, they stood out, you know what I mean? So,
You know, yes, and like you say, signs don't vote, but they're important. They're
but
important.
I think there are people, some people say, who had the best sign in Drake last year? George Taylor. That might have got him some votes. Everybody loves, that stuff, you know.
That was a close election too, you know, but
Yeah,
I thought
yeah.
I thought him putting Colt, I believe his
Yeah,
son's
Cole.
name,
Yep.
putting Colt into the election and helping his dad out and wrapping vehicles, I thought that was really a
And
good touch.
he's what you see is what you get with Josh. And it's like Eric gets you. Josh was on George Bogue's Drake Connection show last Thursday night, and I watched it. And he is just doesn't. He's an independent. He's going to be that way. He actually. He was. Did you ever hear a George Bogue show out?
Oh, yeah, I know George.
Yeah. Josh was on there last Thursday night, and he did a great
Good
job. And he says it like it is. He doesn't sugarcoat anything. But the funny thing was, he wore a suit on the show. No shirt and tie, but he wore a suit. You know how he's always getting
Yeah.
jabbed about wearing a suit. So I don't know if it was a challenge or what. But he is what you get, and you might not agree with the guy all the time. But just like Eric, but he's there for the people who Drake it. And yes, he's the one that made the motion for the trash fee. But he was the one that actually talked about putting it to the voters. And I guess he was basically told to not the voters, but the town meeting. And he was basically told you can't. So
Why can't you?
I don't. It's something that the manager explained it. It's in the charter, the present charter, that the manager and the selectmen can basically, as you would say, do what they want when it comes to mutual aid. I wish Tony was watching. You could call him. I might not know what I'm talking
Last
about.
night I had the luxury of sitting with some Drinkateers.
Maybe I'll watch that meeting.
I sit with some Drinkateers for supper. And one of the gals, she's ticked off, she can't write it off her taxes. See, you can't write a fee off on your taxes. And it should be in the tax rate. So put the taxes, if you don't have enough money to pick up the trash, put the taxes up and let me write off the trash fee. But you can't write the trash fee off. You know that, right, Tom?
Right. I know. Yeah, because I know with my water bill. Now in Lowell, is it optional, or do you have to have your trash picked up? You said I'm gonna have Bob Hoey trash pick me up, pick my trash up. Can
I
you?
do not know.
I heard Drake it's going to be an option. I don't know if it's true, and I'll be in town hall today. I'll try to find
Well,
that
see,
out.
if it's optional, what'll happen is, when you're coming in Bridge Street or Mammoth Road, you'll just come in barrel day and fill up people's barrels.
Well, if you know
That's what
somebody-
happened in Chelmsford. Remember
But
when
if you-
Bernie,
Well, I remember that. But if you know somebody, let's just say you knew somebody that didn't have a lot of trash,
Bernie
or they had a
Lynch,
dumpster.
It's incredible how
out in
much-
charming Chelmsford, Bernie Lynch, and this is in the last century probably, Bernie Lynch you had to pay for bags.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of people didn't want to pay for bags. So coming in Westford Street, I see a guy on a Sunday night stopping, putting his trash, taking it out of his trunk and putting his people barrels on Westford Street. So that's what the Chelmsfordians were doing.
It happened in Drake too, John. It happened in Drake too. When Drake turned out that all this stuff was going, we were finding stuff in Drake when Lowell changed their fees in Drake. So, you know.
And you'll see the grocery stores put covers on the dumpster.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
people are just going to show up and just put their bag in the grocery store dumpster.
But the thing is, does a family of 5 pay the same thing as the person that's living alone? Do you know?
They don't care how many people live with you.
Okay, so that's
If you have over 5 units in the building, if there's 4 units in one building, 4 units in another building, they have trash pickup, both buildings.
okay.
If you have 5 units, no, we don't pick up your trash.
But what
Now
about?
you can have a 15-bedroom home with 65 kids, and you get 1 red barrel and you get 1 recycle barrel. They don't care how many people live in the house,
So you
the
get
city-
charged.
the city
so
doesn't
you get
care.
charged the same fee. Okay.
and you get the same barrel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if you talk about the city manager too much, your barrels will be run over.
We're not going to,
No, it's just,
I told him I wouldn't talk about that issue.
no, but trash, the side of our roads, off the highways, everywhere, people just, they throw it right out the window. Nighttime, you'll be driving your car, you'll see cups being thrown out, everything, trash left everywhere. They need to catch a few.
Yeah.
And put it that way, like First Street, certain streets, people like to dump trash. Behind the Pine School, they like to dump dogs. It's amazing what people dump off. And I've turned a few in times, but then you're like the policeman of the neighborhood,
Yeah.
You don't want to be like that, and you want all the kids to kind of like you, and that's what I try to do, especially when you live near a park. But we need to catch a few and throw some heavy fines at them, especially like just throwing a dog at the end of the street and leaving it there. I
Are you
mean,
kidding me?
oh no,
Wow.
no. Most of the time it's a pit bull,
Yeah.
all chewed up, but that's what they do. That's what they do.
Horrible. Horrible.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt if that Stratham Field someday becomes a dog park.
So that park is
Because
used
that's what
anyway?
it is right now. It's very used,
They don't
very
play
little.
baseball on it at all?
No, it's a basketball court that is used all the time. Baseball, very little. We might get a little bit of T-ball
Would you be against a dog park going there?
I wouldn't be against anything as long
Talk
as
to
it's
Eric.
cleaned up.
Yeah.
No, they're gonna find it. That
They were
spot
talking about
there,
a dog park, right?
Yeah, that's
There used to
right.
be one over in Centerville, right?
yeah. No, it is a dog park right now, but it's a dog park that not all people pick up the stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
a baseball field. It's supposed to be, but it's in terrible condition.
Okay.
I don't know. I don't know what's happening. It just seems like the parks are going downhill a little bit, but
Right.
we'll find it this year. It's an election year.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Tom, like budget-wise, where are they going to get money? If
Yeah.
they need money, where are they going?
Yeah.
Property taxes. It's the only way.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And if you watch the next couple of months, it will really show you who you should be voting for if you watch the city council
Are
meetings.
you going to be having an event pretty soon? Or, I know you're
No, I'll have one
At Kilkenny's.
probably when it's dead,
Okay.
like in June when
All right.
everybody's down at Seabrook.
Yeah.
To kind of help out a certain place. It'll be Kilkenny's.
Yeah.
I just haven't picked the day.
Sure.
And I'll get Paul Belay probably, and Chris Brunel is his last
Yeah,
name.
yeah,
That
the other- I
combination.
forget the other
Yeah,
gentleman's name,
they're all
Yeah.
the entertainment you need.
Yeah.
Just right, you know what I mean? They're
Right,
not too
right.
loud, and
Well, that's what you want. A lot of people don't even care about the entertainment. I don't even know. Does Eric have it at his events? I don't know if Eric, the last event, did
I
he
don't
have
know.
it?
I always seem
Yeah.
to have some type
Yeah.
of music. I think it's good for a
Sure,
party.
sure.
And
sure.
I'm not really worried about too much because all I need to do is get some signs. I don't spend no money in the newspaper or the radio. It's going to happen right here or Facebook. You know?
No, I don't think anybody even listens to that or looks at the
Yeah,
papers. The
yeah.
papers just, oh, my God.
Oh,
It's
there's
just-
still people that watch it online, you know?
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying, I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah.
I look at things, but I mean, as far as the column, I mean, they talked about Chris Scott and a few of those guys. Yeah, they might have been bad at times, but at least it was entertaining. This is all Borefest stuff.
Well, you remember
I
when
mean,
we
talk
had,
about John McDonough when you call him. I mean,
you remember,
Yeah, we got some good ink last weekend.
that was great. Was that
We're
part
gonna
of the
go to
call?
break. We're going to go to break.
yep,
We'll be back. Thanks.
okay. morning. Welcome to the City Life Show. I'm Bob Hoey. Sitting next to me is Nancy Burns. We'll get to her in a minute. Next to her is Tom Bomil, my every other week host with me on Tuesdays. And Tom is the bell ringer for the Salvation Army that's done it more than anybody. He should be put in the Hall of Fame. And they did. I want to make sure I mention that right away. They raised over $280,000, Tom.
281,000 and some change.
Yep, so to me, that's unbelievable.
It's almost to the point with that, you're not going to need bellringers anymore, because that's all through the radiothon. That's the radio show they do, Warren, and it's a great job. But that's going to go on and grow every year, no matter what. But with Nancy, how are you? Let's talk about what we're here for.
Absolutely.
I've known Nancy for years, so. Back in the day when I was just telling her, I've been retired 10 years, and some of the other health directors that we worked together with are retired too. So you have a whole new crew you're working with now.
We met in 2004. Do you realize that?
Wow.
When you were the health director,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
had just started with the Medical Reserve Corps.
So tell us about you. Who you work for, what you do, and why you're here today.
Sure. Well, the Medical Reserve Corps is involved in the organization that we're talking about. So, Suman will be here in a little bit, but the Medical Reserve Corps started back in 2002 as the direct result of the events of September 11. Well-meaning people rushed onto the disaster scenes wanting to help, but they weren't trained, they didn't know the lingo, they didn't have equipment. Someone had the great idea, let's harness the skills of these people that really want to help in times of disaster. So over time, we have now developed 800 Medical Reserve Corps units. No one's ever heard of an MRC, it's a mouthful. Our unit is the Upper Merrimack Valley Medical Reserve Corps, which covers the towns that are shown on the bottom of the screen, and also Westford, the host agent. The reason that we're here today is there's an organization called LASA, Love All, Serve All, and we love partnering with them. The Medical Reserve Corps in general loves to partner with other organizations that are doing good things for humanity. So the LASA organization has been around for quite a few years, and the health director for the city of the Lowell, who also happens to be one of our long-term members, asked they need some medical help to support these clinics that they're offering for free for the medically underserved across Greater Lowell. So would you be able to perhaps provide some volunteers? We were so on that. So we are going to be facing this Saturday, April 12, at the Psi Unity Center in Lowell on 40 Old Ferry Road. We're going to be supporting with 12 of our volunteers this clinic that's available for free with lots of services. And the services are on that flyer that you have, Tom. But we're going to have 12 medical members doing things like screening for blood pressures and cholesterol, providing some counseling or help with pediatrics, mental health. And it's a really wonderful organization. So we're very proud to serve them. And this is going to be our 6th one. They have it every April and October. So we're looking forward to Saturday. Hi, Suman. So I was just telling them about the Medical Reserve Corps and how we team up with LASA, and maybe you'd like to talk a little bit about LASA itself? Because LASA's been around for quite a few years, and Suman is in charge of this Saturday's event specifically.
Yeah, hi, thanks everyone. Yeah, LASA has been in the neighborhood for like over 40 years. We've been doing these community-based service activities, and one of which is this free medical clinic, which we do this twice a year. And, we try to help the poor people and the uninsured folks out in the community. And, it's going well so far. This is the 6th time we've been doing this.
So this clinic is coming up this Saturday, you said?
Correct.
And this is for obviously underprivileged people who can't afford to have some of these services done?
Right.
So you'll probably have a lot of people there.
Yeah. So usually on average we see about 250 to 300 folks with and without vaccinations.
Wow.
So Love All, Serve All, that's the building the old Elks used to be in, right?
Right.
Same building.
Right.
Okay, and that's Saturday?
Specifically, it starts, for the public, it starts at, I think, 8:30 and runs till 2 o'clock.
Correct. Yeah, it
And-
starts at 8:30 to 2:30. We encourage everyone to register. We do allow walk-ins because of the constraints with the time of the providers and the lab tests and some of that. We have to put a hard stop for walk-ins at 1:30 p.m. But again, if you register, it'll be helpful for us to plan and provide these efficiently.
It's amazing how many different languages you cover too, because not everybody speaks English as their native language, right?
Yeah, so one of the barriers for, these folks to get this healthcare is, the language barrier. This came out in the needs assessment survey, so we tried to mitigate this by providing these language interpreter services.
Sure.
So we do have physical interpreters, we have some, the iPad machines, and we do have like a phone line where people will be trained how to, obtain these language
Sure,
interpreter
sure.
services on site. Yeah.
Sure, sure.
It's pretty amazing. You press a button, you can get one of like 40 languages, Haitian Creole and all that. Just push a button and there'll be a translator there.
It's amazing. I think, Bobby, what's it down at Lowell High School now? 73 different languages or something?
Yeah, in the
along that?
70s, yeah.
Yeah.
Malden has more,
Yeah.
and of course Boston
Imagine
has more.
73 different languages in one high school, Now, how are you getting the word out about this, like through shows like this, through social media, through the Lowell Sun, that type of thing? Is that how you're getting the word out about this? Because a lot of people, we just talked about the language barrier, probably don't
Yeah.
you read about this, or hear about it. Is that how you're getting it out there?
Yeah,
through?
great point. So, we did translate this flyer in all languages, in Khmer,
Sure.
Portuguese, and Spanish, the different versions of
Right,
this flyer.
right.
And then we have an outreach team who specifically looks into how to spread this message into these pockets of the community.
Mm-hmm.
So they did send out an ad in the Lowell Sun. We had yesterday. We had Nancy was there at the radio show, and then there'll be a couple of people who'll be going into Lowell schools, working with Greater Lowell Health Alliance, and then spreading this message out. And they've been working on this for the past month or so. So
So
What
come-
surprised me is how
so
far
this
away
is
your
This
people are
is a
coming.
nonprofit, correct?
correct.
Do you get any help from Lowell General Hospital, let's say?
So yeah, Lowell General Hospital has been very helpful in helping us with organizing these clinics. Some of the providers, I would say 40 or 50% of the providers are from Lowell General Hospital, including myself. And the language interpreter services, the iPad machines, in some of the endocrine nurses who do these tests on site, they're all from Lowell General Hospital. And it's a good partnership, and they've been very helpful in organizing and helping us do these smoothly over the years.
What surprised me is that these physicians are volunteering their time. One of them, I understand, is coming all the way from Buffalo, New York to donate his time for this.
Correct.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, he's a cardiologist. He comes with his echo machine. He does his, bedside echoes and EKGs. Yeah, we have I think 4 or 5 of them coming from New York.
And it's basically one-stop shopping instead of having to make separate appointments for an endocrinologist and a family physician and all that. All the screening is provided right there for so many different disciplines, right?
Right, correct. So yeah, you walk into the clinic. This clinic is unique because it's just not a screening clinic. We do have a channel for continuity of care. So we screen patients, and if we identify any health problem, we connect them with a group of people who can just follow up after that day, and then plug in with a specialist who can just take it from there.
So is there any place on the webpage where I can click on this, what's happening this weekend?
Yeah, sure. Go up. See our activities.
Our activity, okay.
Do you have something like that?
Central Massachusetts, Merrimack Valley area?
Yeah. No,
And I think
go
you,
to health and wellness.
Which one?
The
Health
drop down health and wellness. Top.
Oh, I guess.
Yeah, and then go to free medical clinic. This was the last one. This was the one from October.
That was my next question. You've done this before, you've had
Yeah.
these before?
So this is our 6th time doing this. We do this every spring and fall. The spring one in April and fall one in October. And as I said, roughly we do serve about 250 to 300 each time.
what was kind of amazing the last time, in several of these, people can't tell that they're sick. You can't tell that you have high blood pressure or high cholesterol or glucose or whatever. And there was actually an ambulance that came to the last one because the person's blood sugar was through the roof, like 500-ish.
Right, that's right.
Wow.
He called an ambulance, got him right to
Wow.
Little General, which is like 5 miles down the
They
road.
didn't know. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, Bob, you're a diabetic,
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, yeah.
Because of the way we eat. It's all about nutrition. It's very
Bob
hard.
loves his fig squares.
No, believe it or not, Market Basket doesn't get them anymore. The people
I've noticed that, yeah.
people that make
Yeah.
them have stopped making them. But I've been going through a lot with doctors, yeah. And diabetes is, you got to get it under control. And I'm starting to learn it's about really how you eat, your diet, and your exercise. A few combinations, but it's very hard. It's another addiction. Food is not easy to give up. A lot of foods, especially like bread, white bread. It's very hard for some people. So they're sending me to a nutritionist in North Andover, and they said these people can work miracles. Well, I'm going to be one of the hardest cases that they probably ever had, you know. But it's no joke. Diabetes is a serious thing to have, and it's not fun.
Now, when you have these clinics, participation from the surrounding towns, you get much people coming from the surrounding towns,
Yes,
like
yes.
Drake, Chelmsford, Billerica.
Yes. So, this is, as you know, this is the community health network area. Region
Right,
10.
right.
So, our goal is to, get all the folks from all the towns of Tewksbury, Tewksbury, Dunstable, Drake, Billerica. So we go as far. Actually, last time I think we had a couple of patients come far from, Lexington too. So it was like,
And how many people did you have at the last clinic
So
show up?
last time
roughly?
we had,
Roughly.
exact number is 237 with
Wow.
with 100 vaccines, so 337 in total.
And you've had more in the past, up to 300, I understand, in one of the clinics.
Right, yeah, so put together, it's like anywhere
So
between.
it's successful. That's good. That's good. Because some people have nothing. Some people have, they have nothing. In plain English. It's a shame because,
One of the things that came up yesterday, too, is what people should bring to the clinic. They really, if they have medications, if they have any medical records, those are handy to bring. But we want people to come. So much the better if they pre-register, because you have some idea how many people are coming. Like having a party, how much food do you have available,
right.
But just walking in is fine, too.
Yeah, walk-in's fine. Again, as I said, it helps us to organize if you register beforehand. But we do welcome walk-ins, and we have to stop walk-ins after 1:30 p.m.
One of you, Ray Dick, she's the health director in Westford.
Yes, that's
Where
correct.
was she before? I know
She used to
I've
be
known her.
our sanitarian. I'm not sure what the actual term was,
Where?
but she's a
In-
registered
oh,
sanitarian.
In Westford? She was nowhere else director before? Something I'm...
Well, she's been with the town of Westford a good 15 years.
Oh, okay, so that's what I know. That's a
She's
sweetheart. I
wonderful.
remember her.
She's
her.
wonderful,
I remember,
yes.
but I thought she was like in Tewksbury, another community too, but it was Westford, yeah.
Yeah,
She
it's
was
in
always
Westford.
involved with those meetings and everything.
Yeah.
And,
And she's a wonderful director now for Medical Reserve Corps, so there's some props for Ray. But
Right.
we get to do all kinds of wonderful things to help the public, including LASA.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's
and
great.
Nancy has been very helpful. We've been partnering with her since the first, I think, inception, right?
22,
Since
October
2022, and
22.
each time we have at least 10 to 12 nurses coming from them, and they do the key part, the triage.
Yeah, yeah. We have, this time we're going to have nurses, a CMA, a certified medical assistant, we have EMTs, and we have a pharmacist coming. And everybody plays their own role, and it helps to have specialties. They're good at triage, they're good at multi-generational health issues. And we love supporting LASA because it's like anything that people might need for a first screening, it's all right there. You don't have to make an appointment and wait 6 months.
And no one needs insurance. They can
No.
go there without insurance,
Yes.
correct?
There will be somebody from Mass Health in case they wanted to register for that, but it's not pre-required.
Yeah, that's good, though.
So yeah, the beauty of this clinic is, you don't have insurance, and if somebody doesn't have insurance and they want to have an insurance, we do have an option for that. So we have the Lowell Community Health Center establish a booth called Connect Care, where they come in, all they need is their identity proof. They'll do some copies of that, and then they have the Connect Care Health Navigators, nurse navigators. They take some questionnaire, they submit the application, and that's it. And after that, they'll verify that and they'll get the insurance
Yeah.
if they're eligible.
Right, right.
The whole clinic is something where everybody wins, though. People that come in, they get better health, their families benefit from having somebody around better, so it's just a wonderful thing to be offering for free, completely free, dental, everything.
Yeah.
That's Jay.
Yeah, take care of it, take care of it.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So how about number 2 here, mental health? I think it's one of the bigger issues that we're dealing with in Lowell, because you can put alcoholism and drugs and all that under mental health, correct?
Right.
Do you see any increase in people looking for
Yeah. So that's a-
mental health?
That's a great
Oh, yeah.
point.
Are you?
Good.
The needs assessment survey, they have pointed out the top priority health concerns in this region. Hi, Jayanti. Hey, good morning. So we have this, the needs assessment survey point out that this is the top priority healthcare concern in this region, mental health. So the first clinic, we didn't have that. And starting the spring of 2023, we did start a mental health booth. And we have 2 providers who are very experienced. And we have seen that there is increasing number of people utilizing this booth.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
So this is a prevalent problem in this region.
Hi, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, I'm Jayanti Gatraju. You can call
Okay.
me Jay, and I'm one of the volunteers. I'm at the board of LASA.
How do you spell your name?
Jey
Last name?
Gatraju. Ghatraju.
That look right?
That's right.
Yep.
So let me ask you this question.
One more to go, Tom, Bobby.
Yeah?
I should fix your name too. Okay, so what is your name?
Koganti, Koganti.
T.I.?
T as in Tom.
Okay. Last name?
That's the last name. First name is Suman.
Technical issues, right?
S.U.
M as in Madrid, yeah. Yeah,
Looks good.
that's good.
Perfect.
So my question to you would be, love all, serve all. What do you think about that? Just tell us some of your thoughts.
Loving without any boundaries, without limits, and serve all means wherever there is an opportunity, you just go and serve. It doesn't matter.
And that's what you're doing right now.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
It's not just clinical medical, it's really caring about the human beings.
Exactly. It could be an individual, or it could be a small group, or a big, like a Thanksgiving. Anyone.
It took some courage to start these clinics now, didn't it?
Absolutely.
They didn't exist before.
They did not, and in fact, when we started this, our Sai Unity Center, and when we moved, we had different plans.
Oh.
To go for a whole weekend of chanting and bhajans. That's what we were thinking was the biggest one that we were going to do in November, and we had big plans. And come September, they said, "Oh, you have 6 weeks to do this medical clinic."
But you made it happen and went really well.
Well, it is, and they say, reach within for your strengths, right?
Yep.
And however we call it, spirituality, whatever it is, you just had to reach within. And then many of us reached within. It was not one person. And we sprung into activities. Those 6 weeks were like real fun.
Fun is a
To
good
con-
word for it.
Yeah, to convert an Elks to a place where we could do this medical clinic. And so beautifully.
Absolutely, and the collaboration is wonderful.
Absolutely, no question about
Where
it.
were you located before the Elks? Did you have other offices? Or was this your first?
Well, we were operating in different satellite centers, if you want to call it, and then, this is just a beautiful place that we could all come together.
Right.
And that was the main reason we had this, we had this Love All, Serve All, and just to be as a one umbrella, one place for everything that we want to do.
It's a good size, and you've worked hard in the flow to make sure that people come in, they register, they get processed, they get translators, they go to triage, and everybody's got a specialty, so it's all in one place, which is
Right.
amazing.
And also, it's just that, the very first time, I'm sure you recall that Friday evening when we came in for orientation,
Yep.
you can imagine the frenzy.
Yep.
But then we put it all together so beautifully, and it's just collective heads. And, people just taking the guidelines and then just working with it.
And it's wonderful to have specialists who will focus on one area and another area, and they just go from place to place, whatever's needed after the triage. Not everybody needs cardiology, some do.
Yes, and it is just the one common comment that we've heard is that, if we were to go for a PCP, it takes so much of an appointment
Right.
time, and for a specialist, it's even longer.
Right.
They just focus on just one thing that needed immediate attention. So that's the beauty of this.
Seeing them as whole people.
You have the clinic. Do you have what's been your age average age that came in with children? Was it everybody, all types of ages, or was there a specific age that was coming in more, that you saw more of?
Yeah, we did have like, all kinds of ages.
Oh,
We
okay,
do have like pediatrics,
mixture.
but pediatrics were not a lot. I think we had like few, like 3
Really?
or 4
Few on
last
that?
time. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We have 2 pediatricians on site, but it was a like mix of population. We did have like elderly, we did have middle-aged, adolescents and younger kids too.
Did you say you do vaccinations too?
So vaccinations, we do it, we're trying to like, do it in the fall clinics
For
because
the
of the
flu clinic?
flu
I was
seasons
going to
and
say
all
that
that.
flu clinic,
Yeah.
yeah.
And this time, we have avoided the
Sure,
vaccinations.
sure.
But the other things, that I want like the viewers to know is the eye clinic where they do visual acuity testing. They check the pressures, and anybody needs like reading glasses, they'll be provided free. And this will be done on site then and there itself.
Sure.
And we had a dentist that came from our volunteer group to
Yes.
support it, as a matter of fact.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they don't need insurance. They can get on the bus, be dropped off at the Old Elks Club on Ferry Road, right? Walk in, and let's say they want to be checked for dental. You have dental there, correct?
Correct.
So if they have no insurance, you also have people that will show them how to get on Mass Health,
Correct.
okay? Because most people, I believe, that have insurance already have, they're set up with, like,
Yes.
my dentist is Dr. Patel, my blood sugar person, and my diabetes is another Dr. Patel. And I don't remember their first names, but they're tremendous. Well, I didn't mean to make you laugh, but I'm just trying to tell you, we have a great dentist, Dr. Patel, right here on Gorham Street, and I know he has helped me even with finances and money, and now he has a booming business. It's, health is a big, big part of this city. We need more doctors around. There's a lot of people that don't have insurance. I know a couple of my friends right now don't have an ounce of insurance. And this is something they should go at least start.
You mentioned that there's a doctor that's coming all the way from Buffalo, but are the rest of the doctors, local area doctors, that are volunteering their time?
Yes,
basically? Yeah.
that's a great question. Like, all the physicians that participate in the clinic, they're all board certified. They're all practicing physicians, in the
greater
town of
rural area.
Boston. So some of them from Mass General Brigham, some of them from Brigham and Women's Hospital, from UMass, from Tufts Medicine, from Lowell General. So they're all like, practicing physicians
Right.
in the town, in the city,
Right.
sorry.
Right.
And where else could you get something like this all in one place on one day? So it's this coming Saturday, April 12th, and looking forward to it. People were asking yesterday about how long should somebody plan to spend there, and I guess it could be a ballpark of about an hour because they get screened, and they have the option for so many services all in one place.
Right. So as Nancy was mentioning, they'll come in, we'll do the intake, and everybody gets their vitals checked. They'll have their height, weight, blood pressure checked. Everybody gets their blood sugar checked. Some of them get their HbA1c and cholesterol, testing based on some criteria. And after that, we have all these specialists lined up. And couple of things that we are introducing this time is the women's health. We have the OBGYN as well as the breast cancer screening. So combined together, we have put a booth called Women's Health.
Right.
To help
right.
the women in the community. So I think everybody should make use of it, and all you need to do is just show up.
It's a real unifier, isn't it? People can come in with whatever issues that they have and get them diagnosed and looked at.
On the screen is the services that you guys are going to have Saturday.
Yep. It's quite a few.
And they're all free, you just got to show up. So it starts at what time?
Starts at 8:30 a.m. in the morning.
Oh, they were way up here, 8:30.
Yeah, and then goes on till 2:30 p.m.
And you want to go to 40 Old Ferry Road, and I'm going to show you where that is. Here we have the world famous Rook Bridge. A lot of guts to cross this bridge. And someday, maybe before the sun burns out, we'll get a replacement on it. But there's no promises we're actually going to be there. Nobody will bet their pension on when it's coming. So you go over the Rook Bridge. The new Demoulas's is over here, and this is behind the new Demoulas's, so we're going to show. Here's the new Market Basket. So you go over Rook Bridge, go by the Market Basket, go up the street here, and behind the Market Basket, the next plaza, gigantic parking lot. This is LASA's, this is where the free clinic's going to be on Saturday. So as you can see, there's plenty of parking here. It's free. if you have something that's bothering you, go up there and get a free look on Saturday. God bless these people for doing this. It's absolutely free from 8:30, and they're going to close shop at 2:30. So get up extra early on Saturday morning and please pop in and see these medical professionals, and they're going to help you whatever you're ailing you with and whatever's bothering you. So it's easy to get to. Again, just go over the Rook Bridge or stay on the Pawtucket Boulevard. Doesn't make any difference. But as soon as you go by the new Market Basket, which is right here, all you're going to do is go up the street. Just go by the basket. The firehouse is here too, so you can see a little firehouse.
Yeah, firehouse.
And
Across.
as you can see, there's tons of parking. I'll go get a ride up there. It's great. This is a really nice service you guys are putting out there. God bless you. Thanks for doing it. I'll put the services back up again so people can take a look at that while you're chatting. I'm done.
You mentioned a person that had a very high blood sugar. Now, and I saw on the list here that pharmacy prescriptions not provided. Let's just say somebody walks in, all of a sudden their blood pressure is sky high, or they have some other issue that these doctors can't give them a prescription for it. What do they have to do then? Go to?
Yeah, so if there's an acute condition, like an emergency condition that is noted during the clinic, we have a pathway where we'll transfer the patient to the emergency room at Lowell General Hospital.
Okay.
But if somebody needs a semi-urgent, it doesn't need to be done right away, but in the next few days, then we have the Connect Care people in the Mass Health in the booth.
Okay.
They'll help
to
with
get
that.
them prescriptions.
Yeah. And we did look into that. The main reason why we avoided that is because of the liability-related issues.
Mm-hmm.
But we try to help even in that aspect. So we have a pharmacist from Merrimack Valley who will be on site,
Right.
and she'll help with the Good RX treatment cards, which will provide 80% subsidy for any prescriptions that are prescribed and provided from outside.
Now, do we have to register to go, or can you just show up?
So yeah, we do encourage strongly to register, but you could walk in.
So if you want to register, take your smartphone out and put it in camera mode and zero in on this right here. It's called a QR code. That's what I call it anyway. And it will bring you to a website where you can register to do this. I tried to put this website up on the screen. I didn't have any luck with it. So nonetheless, zero in on this. And if you can't register, just go. They'll be glad to see you. They're there to help you, and it's all free.
Yes, I'll be at the check-in. You will see me first, along with my friend.
You'll have Friendly Jay at the check-in.
And it's nice to know, too, if you're not really savvy with a fancy iPhone, you also have the internet. You can log on, a website, and also just call. So there are phone numbers there, 4 different ways to sign up, in case
I
you're
see
not
the phone
tech
number down
savvy.
here.
Yeah,
I
there's
see
a phone number there.
Yeah.
Phone number down the bottom there.
Yeah.
You know, one of the big issues for me is, yes, I have diabetes, but neuropathy is a terrible thing to have also, and there's not much they can do for that.
Okay,
That's
so let me
what I
just
hear.
tag this just for a second, okay?
Yeah,
We give 30 minutes to every not-for-profit, because we had some communication and some location problems this morning. This is gonna go until 40 past, and then we'll say goodbye to our friends at LASA. Back over to you, Bob.
all right, so throw something out there and tell people everything about Saturday, what time, where, take the free bus out there and get yourself checked up. Just your vitals, having your vitals checked. I went into my doctor's office yesterday, right off the bat, 120/80. I said, is that good? She goes, you're all set right there, okay. But go ahead, tell people about this.
Yeah. So again, this is a great opportunity for the people in the community. This is like a unique health clinic. You walk in and you get everything you need. So starting from primary care to high-end specialties. These doctors are not just doing time. These are all highly qualified. They're really talented people. They're out there practicing in big corporate hospitals.
Is Sachin Patel going tomorrow? Sachin Patel?
Yes, he's there.
Okay.
He's one of the internists.
They don't come any better. He's my doctor.
Really? He was in the program yesterday at the,
No, that's
Great.
Tushar. This is Sachin, right?
Sachin, yeah.
Yeah, he's
Okay.
there. He's an internist.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yep.
he'll be there.
I like him. Good guy.
Yeah.
What's your number one when people come visit? Do they have do you have a high, more people go say to the
Yes.
cardiologist or to the women's health or to the pediatrics? What's the number one that you see that people need more services for?
So yeah, the primary care is the internal medicine is where they have more
Okay.
density, and
All right.
in even eye clinics and dental clinics, they're always busy. Everybody
Okay.
wants their eyes checked, they want some
Sure.
reading glasses, and
Sure.
they want their teeth checked, and they want like this fluoride treatment. So those are like really busy clinics.
And Jay, you're going to be doing a lot of specialty things there as well, right? People are going to come in and,
Yes, and I also wanted to mention that we have some friendly interpreters, so you don't need to worry if you didn't know English.
right?
You know, my father wouldn't go to a doctor. He didn't believe in him. He wouldn't get checked. He died of colon cancer. Something that can be prevented by just getting checked. I've had several of them already because I'm 70 and I have brothers that won't get a colonoscopy. Drives me crazy thinking about it because it's a simple test. Really is.
Yeah,
think
the
that's
prep can be
advantage.
a little bit, but then
Yeah.
you think of the output or outcome of it, then you just go with it.
It's only the drink that will bother you.
Yeah, that's
Just
what
the
I'm
drink.
saying. the
That's
prep
it.
part of it.
So Bob, we got 2 minutes, so one more round. What are we doing Saturday? What time you show up? It's free. Give us a little spurt. We got 2 minutes, and then we're going to say goodbye, good luck, and God bless.
I think the mere fact that they can come in and get triage, just here you are, you may not feel bad or good, but let's see what your vital signs are that you can't tell just by feeling them.
Yeah. So again, it's a free medical clinic this Saturday. Starts at 8:30 a.m. till 2:30 p.m. You don't need any insurance or you don't need to pay for this clinic. Just walk in, get screened, and we have all the specialty services that you can see on the screen. We do have some blood tests and some vital measurements on the day. We can provide you with Mass Health insurance registration, and we do help with connection with the PCP. So, and we also have some pediatric services available. So kids are also welcome. So please make avail of these services and lead for a better health in the community.
Are you and Jay both doctors? Are you doctors?
No, I'm not a doctor.
Are you a doctor?
I'm just
I'm a surgeon. Yeah.
Surgeon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so
Great.
anything else you want to
It's great having
let
you.
the
This
public
is-
know about?
Yeah.
Sorry.
Anything else you want to put out to the public today?
Again, as I said, please do avail of these services. As Bob was mentioning, people who need colonoscopy, who need breast cancer screening, who need women's health, pediatrics, ophthalmology, dental checkup. This is awesome. I don't think all these will not have such a bunch of specialty services at one site, at one stop shop in that short span of time. So this is unique and this is great, and I think you all should make use of this.
Just to let the audience know where this place is, LASA Foundation's right here. It's behind the new Market Basket on the Low Lawrence Boulevard, Pawtucket Boulevard. So you go over the Rourke Bridge or take the boulevard. You go by the Market Basket, go up this street here, Old Ferry Road, you're going to see the firehouse here.
Yeah.
And then you go into LASA's huge parking lot and free clinic on Saturday. So please consider it. I'll give you guys the last word and then we're going to say goodbye.
Thanks so much for having us today. This is a really important cause that we believe in. Everybody wins, and it's free. Lots of triage and services.
Hey, we'll see you
Hope
next
to
time.
see you again.
Wishing you the best
Thank you.
weather on
Thanks,
Saturday.
John.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome back to the City Life Show. It was nice to have the
That was a
people
great
from...
segment.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
was. Love all, serve all. If you have no insurance this Saturday, get up there at the Old Elks Club between 8:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m. You need no insurance, and you might be able to get on Mass Health too. So if you have no insurance, go up there. That's for sure. So thanks for coming. And I want to get right back into Lowell right now, Tom, if you don't
Sure,
mind.
that's right. Yeah.
I just feel, thank you, Eric Getchia, for calling in earlier. I think it's important for you to watch the city council meetings. This is an election year, the budget's coming up, and you can see who's talking about maybe raising our taxes, you know? So if you pay attention, and that's what I do, I try to watch. I don't watch the school committee meetings almost at all. Now and then I'll catch a few minutes of it. I watch strictly the city council meeting.
Are they long meetings? I know you don't watch them, but when they are they long
What's
meetings?
that?
The school committee, are they?
They have their
An
nights.
hour,
I think
yeah.
where you put a lot more work is, just like the city council, is in subcommittees.
Sure,
You know,
sure.
that's where the work is, you know, and in Lowell, it's usually executive session, what I call secret squirrel meetings.
Right,
You
right,
spend a lot of time in those, too.
right, right.
But
Now,
I'm feeling good about Lowell, I really am. Politically, I think it shows 4 people coming out in Belvedere, maybe 5.
Even the districts you have, I mean, the only district right now I see that is the mayor. I don't think has any opposition.
No.
But the other district people have some opposition. I mean, John Dakota was opposition.
I don't think Corey Robinson, I don't believe
I know,
he
yeah,
does.
Corey Robinson doesn't.
It's really yet
the
too,
former mayor has.
like-
It is early.
Oh yeah, not till June. The papers come out. But the former mayor Sakari Chow has opposition. Does Kim Scott have opposition?
Well, I'm not sure about
Yeah.
that. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
No.
John,
Not
who's
that
the,
I know
party,
of.
the
Yeah.
party you went to the other night for that? Who's he running against? Maldonado, is that what you said his name was? You went to a party,
Yes, Francisco Maldonado, retired police officer.
and he's running against.
He's running against John Dakota.
Okay.
See, when they did the redistricting, Tom, no doubt the district that Kim Scott lives in got hurt by it, because anything to the left of Woburn Street and Morton Street, that's the 4 corners in South Lowell, Lawrence and Woburn, anything, when you're standing on Morton Street, and anything to the right is in Kim Scott's area. Anything to the left, all the way down, is in Belvedere. So you only made Belvedere stronger. There'll definitely be the section of the city that picks your top 3 citywide candidates. There's no
Well,
doubt in my
I think
mind.
after Judgment Day
Yeah.
in heaven, you're going to find out gerrymandering happened. They drew that line just to screw you.
No, I won't believe that.
I bet you breakfast up in heaven.
Well, I don't even
We
look
find
at
that
it.
out on Judgment Day.
I don't even look at it that way.
I do.
All I do now, though, is look at, I'm in the strongest voting district in the city. And the Pine School has always been really good to me, and that is now Belvedere. A lot of votes in Belvedere, so we're going to show the rest of the city how to vote.
So we
You
got Kim
big
Scott's over
numbers.
here, so far as we
She's
know,
in 5.
no competition.
And I hope not, because
Oh,
if
she's
she...
in 5? Oh, this
yeah.
is Belvedere, sorry.
That's where they believe they could beat somebody, is always in 5.
and
Because she lost a lot of votes.
And 5 is a majority of South Lowell, right? A majority of South Lowell.
5 goes
And I
down
think
there
when-
like
when the deal
Lincoln
was done-
Square.
Where?
Go ahead.
When
Oh,
the
Lincoln's-
deal one's done, in Belvedere, you're going to have 6 people running for that job.
I don't know now, because you got 4 pretty powerful people running right now.
Nobody's pulled papers yet?
No, I know.
Can't pull papers till June?
That's
This is-
okay.
The most
Over
messed
in-
up district is John's district. That going from the connector all the way down up almost the Drake line, for crying out loud, right, Johnny?
Yep.
Your district, my God,
Yep.
talk about gerrymandering.
And I think I need for a 30-year-old or a 40-year-old, or I don't care how young
We
you
almost
are.
had one this weekend, but she's not
We just-
interested.
Bill Ricker just got an 18-year-older.
He's 18. That's the kid?
18
Wow.
years old. The guy's still in high school, and he's a selectman in Bill Ricker.
Wow.
I told you earlier about Hillary Clark. I did run
That's
into...
what I was saying. That's what I
I
said.
did run into her, and when she
She's a
said
no.
she's finishing school and she's not
So,
interested...
Grandma, what I want you to do is ask your grandson or granddaughter, become a Lowell city councilor, please. Back to you guys, so I'll stop talking.
No, I just think it's It's all about District 3 right now. I mean, it's going
That's
to
going
be
to be very
amazing.
interesting. Four candidates, four
Yeah.
good candidates,
Yeah.
with ties to the district. I don't know who this, what's her last name, German? The attorney that's, I don't know her, I don't know who she's connected
Belinda,
to.
that's her first name.
Yeah,
I never met
but
her,
I know,
but
I know the Gendron girl through, I mean, I think her father-in-law was Steve Gendron, right? Am I correct?
yeah,
Or-
but it's going to cause some friction, you know?
Yeah.
I know I'm going to keep it mellow because my sister is for Belinda John, for instance.
Yeah, yeah.
And I'm for Danny Finn. I was for Corey Belanger, but I had to say, Corey, I'm
Mark
sorry.
Redmond says, great show, everybody. Hey, Mark, congratulations, baby.
Congratulations,
We're
pal.
tickled pink that you came in number one band in Tewksbury. Good guy.
Yeah.
Nice job. But that's how, you know, it is. It's just the way it is sometimes, especially with this new system. If we stayed the way it was, I probably would still be a supporter of Corey Belanger, but I'm not. So I had to tell him, like a man, that I
Well, you said
can't.
that from day one, boy. You
Yeah,
said you were
well,
going to be with Dan
but-
Finn no matter what, so it's not,
Yeah.
you know, you were going to be with Corey, but when
But
you
Ned-
said
Ned-
6 months ago that if Dan Finn ran, you'd be with him.
Well, you know why I keep saying this and I keep bringing it up is because Ned Tarmey, yourself, and me, we all said that we were for Corey Belanger last time, and he run for citywide at large. He come in fourth, but that was a good show by him. He wasn't that far off from number 3.
Right.
That's why I think some people should reconsider what they're doing. You know, I'm not going to change. The reason why I'm not going to change, the old swamp, I used to dump on him all the time by calling him the swamp. That was Belvedere. But now the swamp is the city manager and my buddy Tom Bomil. He's in that swamp. But swamps are good, you know, they got to shift it around. Don't be a sore loser.
And it's going to swap around. We've seen
Belvedere
it for
had
years.
control of the city for years. And if you look at education, one time we had all Irish. And then George Sapasaris come in, another guy I really enjoyed working with, great guy. And it was a lot of Greeks that had the power in the schools. It just bounces, the same thing with the police department. It bounces back from one nationality to another.
Right,
And the
right.
Irish tend to be in the police department quite a bit too. It's just the way it is. And we'll see what happens, you know, because like John said, it's early, no doubt about it. But when you look at the 4 that are running in Belvedere, you got to think twice before you enter that race. You know, I look at all elections, and right now I would say quickly, this is just my opinion, folks. Gendron's the front runner. It's like a race. She's the front runner. Number 2, I think, is my guy, Dan Finn.
I was going to say the
But
same
don't
thing.
count out, I'm just saying
No.
this. Belinda Joran is
Yep.
her name. What I hear
Corey.
about her, she comes from money, and she knows a lot of people, and I didn't know nothing about the woman. And I'm sorry I never mentioned her name. But she's another one that's going to be a contender. And Corey Belanger, the reason why I say this about Corey is all his friends don't live in Lowell no more. You know? That's why I think he'd do much better citywide. That's all. And I won't say that again.
So right now, you have Rita Mercia, Vesna Noon, 630 Jesus, and who else as far as citywide? That's it, right?
Eric gets you.
Eric gets you. How can you forget Eric? Yeah.
No, that's fine.
So that's going to be a 630 Jesus. I don't know him, never met him.
It's going to be
I'm
powerful.
I'm
He's gonna
hearing
be-
he's going to.
he's a threat to number 2 and 3.
He's like the
He
Danielle
won't top the
McFadden.
ticket, but he's a threat to number 2 and 3.
Yeah. So
This is the gal who's running for city
Yeah.
council in Belvedere.
My sister Ronnie loves her. So
is she an attorney, Bob?
I don't know anything
I thought
about
I
the
heard
woman.
I think for some reason I heard she's on a
Well,
library
we can go to
trust.
about and see what it says.
She's on the board of library
No,
trustees, I
she
think.
ain't nothing, there's no workplaces or
Yeah.
anything to, this is her Facebook page.
I think
Oh, wait a
she's-
second, we got a website. Let's see what this thing here says.
That's her campaign website, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay, it says more about her.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So that's what I mean. You get her and Gendron, 2 females running for a seat, that seat.
Yeah.
They're going to take away from each other. Corey and Danny Finn will take away from each other also. But we'll see.
She's having a party May 1st at I'll slide this thing over so you guys can see that. She's having a party May 1st. Corey's having a party this week, I think the 10th. Sorry we didn't have any time for announcements today, so, this gal,
Yep, Belinda.
Belinda, she's gonna have a party, Long Meadow Golf Club. Click here for details. Oh, maybe
Yeah,
it's
so
working.
all four of them are strong. But I just, this is just my opinion, how I
Somebody told me she
feel.
was gonna call me, but I have not heard from her yet, so. Join us for the kickoff of Belinda Duran's campaign for Lowell City Council, represent Belvedere District 3. Meet Belinda, hear her vision. Suggested donations start at 25 and go up. And sends you back to her website. You can donate online, so that's all about Belinda Duran. Back to you guys.
Yeah, so it's all about who's going to outwork who, because it's going to be an incredible race.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited, actually. I love this type of stuff, so. We went for redistricting. Remember how much we were all set against it?
I was for it. I'm a Draker guy, but I didn't really understand it. But
You
I
was
thought it
for
was
it?
great, yeah.
Yeah,
I think it's great, and it's worked out, I think.
It is
I
working
mean,
out.
some of these people would never be elected to the city council if it wasn't for redistricting. You agree with me on that? Some of those that are in there now? I mean,
Yeah, well, that's one district you just can't read. You're always sitting and praying at the last minute because you don't hear the results until Belvedere and the Riley School come in.
Right.
And you can be, let's say, in a school race, out of 10 people, you could be ninth.
Right,
And all you got to do is be in the top 6 in Belvedere and you're in.
right.
The number of votes, so. I know what I've said in the past, about the swamp this and the swamp that, but I also know that I think Ed Kennedy, the mayor that I work for 4 mayors, but I think Ed Kennedy has done as much as anybody else in the city of Lowell. And that's all time. But people, over an issue like, let's say, the high school, that issue, they'll have people, I can't stand Ed Kennedy. Ed Kennedy has
Well, that's
done,
never going to go away, Bobby.
No,
You said
that's fine, that's
That high
fine.
school issue is never going to go away.
It's never gonna go
You
away.
still hear about it, it's all over, people, give it up. I mean, Trump's won, give it up.
Well, you know
It's
how we
people
are,
that-
Lowell.
yeah,
Come on,
yeah.
you know.
Here's a little snapshot of Corey Belange's party this Thursday, April 10th at Long Meadow, 5:30 to 8 p.m. Donations start at $20 and go up. And then we got Sixto to Jesus. He's having a party on the 10th as well, this Thursday, at the Koto Asian Fusion Restaurant, 72 Merrimack Street, downtown Lowell. And kickoff campaign for Sixto to Jesus is April 10th, starting at 6 p.m. And those are all, I want to make sure we fit everybody in there because I don't want to get in trouble for not mentioning other people. Thanks.
No, you give the fair share to people.
I know, but.
You mentioned them.
I put on that Duran girl, so I'm thinking, well, I'll put the other two up quick. We got time.
Sure. I mean, you're pretty
You guys
much,
got 4 minutes.
you're pretty equal with everybody, letting them have their time and letting them, plug them, so.
Well, thanks. Thank
yeah.
you.
So,
It's going to be interesting. That's all I can
Yeah.
say. On Tuesdays, it's going to be the best. Hopefully, we can keep it up, Tom.
Yeah.
Without Ned, it's tough. When we had Ned, we're kind of, I'm sorry to
Yeah.
say it, we're kind of untouchable when Ned's here, but
yeah.
you do okay, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, you do
Ned
okay.
was good. Ned's probably, like I say, he's resting, taking it easy, I think. I think he went through some a total hell, and I think he's just, I'm sure, if, at his age, what he went through, he has to be tired some mornings, and so I don't
He's
blame
not
him.
going to miss this election.
No,
I'm
no,
telling you, he's
no.
not. He'll be okay. He'll bounce back.
Yeah.
Good weather's coming. It's been a miserable.
Oh,
The whole
God.
next week, rainy, crappy weather,
Yeah.
cold.
Depressing.
It's going to go below. I was watching Chicago news this morning. They're expecting 1.5 inches of snow tonight in Chicago.
I
You
think
know-
we're not going to see anything in the 60s till like next week sometime, I think.
I went to doctors yesterday. I got to go again with my wife Thursday. It's all about doctors for us for some, it's just the way it is. But I went in yesterday and said to my doctor, I said, when I go to bed, I seem to cough quite a bit. And they wanted to give me something like for COPD stuff. But I don't want any more medications. That's why I'm going to a nutritionist. I have to try to turn it around.
Yeah.
But I said, can you just give me a chest x-ray so I can sleep better knowing I don't have some big lump in my chest or whatever? And they said, well, you had one a few months back when you had pancreatitis, I think they call it. You go in and it's unbelievable, the pain. They give you a needle, you're all set in a
The
minute.
mayor's on tomorrow.
Tomorrow City Life,
So they wouldn't
Linda
give you-
Bound's
Yeah.
going to be the host,
They wouldn't give you another x-ray?
No.
and Mayor Diddy Works coming in at 7. So that's tomorrow City Life. Time is short, boys. You got like a minute.
Yeah, they just, it's funny, you just can't go in and ask, I want to just.
No, it's all about money. It's all about money and insurance. That's what it's all about, you know? So,
Yeah, we got to see some changes coming.
Yeah.
I went to pick up 2 medications, I do 7, I went to pick up 2, total 150,
yeah.
75 apiece. And all you do is watch TV and see the
Bobby, do
people.
you itemize?
What?
Do you itemize your
No,
taxes?
I don't itemize anything. No.
Okay.
But if you don't have money, you can sign a slip, up
Right.
at Lowell General, and they'll
Right.
give you help,
Right, right.
meaning, hardship type of thing.
Sure, sure.
But you got to pay
Say goodbye,
sometimes.
boys.
Bye. Have a
See you
good
next
day.
week.
Tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.